It is. That's a point for the sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're live. Now call order the this common council meeting for the city of Huntingburg. Request.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, thank you for all those that are here today, the elected officials, as well as those employees and citizens that are here to voice their concerns. And we ask now, we go in this meeting, that decisions we make may be for the benefit of all of the city of Huntingburg, in these states. We ask Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Well, we have 3 minutes to conclude the day. We'll start with the common council meeting from 26.
We got an 8, or all 3 were 8/26.
Yeah, they all were. We have to do all 3 though, right? Separate.
Just together.
Can we do all 3? Okay, great. So we have the evening, plus we had the 2 sessions of budget sessions. We have a motion to approve all 3.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Yeah, first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have approval of claims.
Make motion to approve claims.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And that passes. We have right now, this past month at the Parks Board, they approved, the Parks Board, a fund to be able to get a national fitness court, that received a $30,000 grant. Going to need to raise approximately $145,000 through local match. Now, some of that match will be donated labor. Some of it will be through a patronicity grant. They're hoping to raise about $100,000 through another grant, as well as they're going to do some advertising and sell rental space on it for local businesses to put their name on it. We have a picture of the fitness court at the bottom, looking at putting that at the House Park. The reason for putting that the house is they did a heat map of people that exercise, they use Fitbits and other types of devices to measure their fitness, and they showed that as the hottest spot in town for people to go to walk, to play, to do the disc golf and different things. There's several cities around in Indiana that have these right now. I did visit one of the ones up north at Mishawaka that's been there for about 7-8 years. And you could tell it was 7 or 8 years old, but it was still in great shape. And they have improved even since then. Some of them vary in Indiana, Monticello. Most of the cities that I can't remember all the ones in Indiana, but there are a few out there. But this is a not-for-profit organization that puts this on. There will be no city money involved other than labor. If we do donated labor, helping to install the court or putting down the concrete, if the Parks Department did that, we could save considerable amount of money, but that will really, the idea right now, this is a Mayor's Youth Council project. We'll be working on raising those funds over the next several months to try to use that. So you're really not putting money towards it with this resolution, but considering moving on. Kind of looked at this over the last 3 months. It started as youth council project. I think it's a great idea.
Is there, I know that this is probably not the place for it, but just a suggestion that it's in a shaded area, because I think that's why House Park is so widely used, just because it's a shaded area to be able to walk. It sounds quite so hot during the summer months.
Yeah, we kind of have to put that against also having those limbs and stuff fall on there, I weigh it against it. Right now, looking at the area, maybe somewhere near the start of the trail to the west of the driving range, that area where you do have some shading there along that path, but not right out in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be out in the middle, but it's gonna be somewhere where they see from the road. We've noticed, unfortunately, unfortunately, everyone said that heat map is showing that a lot of people are crossing the road right there, the highway. You get to the party from, I'm in the OFS area, so. It's also our radar down, but they are safe streets for all grant and talk to the NDOT about what we can do there too, but. I know that's been discussed in the past, but we do really need to do something at the intersection, and this could be made into this to. So what we would need is just a mission from the board, accept the resolution that was already adopted by the Parks Board already.
Is there, Mayor, is there a breakdown of what you ran through, who was gonna be responsible for what, you know, for dollar amounts? Is that broken down someplace where we can see like,
Yeah, I don't have that.
it's okay?
What I've got right now, there's 30,000, it's 145,000, yeah, 30,000 in grants. We're hoping for, our other goal is, and I think we easily attainable, is 100,000 through patronicity. Patronicity is a national grant program where there would be a fundraising through the mayor's youth council utilizing patronicity is promoting this across the state where people can donate. So it's a match funds, you take 50,000 in donations, match 50,000 in grant to get you to the 130,000. We think that looking at it, just our costs right now, that we could probably put about $15,000 or less into labor and concrete, but that'll be equal to about $30,000 to $35,000 in match funds, as we take it at the retail amount. They just be utilizing parks and street or people concrete center.
And then when they construct a park like this, do they put all the stations like in one location, or could they be spread out along the walking path?
No, they're all along the path itself. It's designed to go from station to station. It's also using your own weight and kinetics. So it's good for seniors. It's good for young people. There are no weights involved from the standpoint of from a danger standpoint, but and on the backside is an area where you could do a mural. A lot of people are doing murals on the back sides of them, and along the sides, selling advertisement on there. You know, a lot of times it's hospitals or fitness gyms and those type of things that buy the advertising. But it's all designed as one one mat. You can actually make them twice as large. And on the backside is a aerobic type of mat with music and stuff, but those are really settled for people that have different weather than what we have. They probably work in California or Georgia, maybe not so much in Huntingburg, Indiana. Yeah, I think that's Oakland, California in the picture here, I believe.
Pretty much year round spring.
Yeah. Mishawaka, which is a very cold region, they're very happy with theirs. Like I said, that's one of them. I was up there in that area, vacation. We stopped in and looked at it, talked to the mayor and stuff. Later on, talked to the mayor during that, not that day.
So you need you need a motion to approve
To
the,
raise the funds that allow us to go forward and raise the funds, and collect those funds. It's part of this. Not asking for funding itself.
motion made.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries then. Got a did a proclamation on September 15th begins Latino Heritage Month and Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'll read that here. I don't have the large version of that, but we have it on here. Whereas the United States observes National Hispanic Heritage Month by honoring the contribution of Hispanic and Latino culture, and whereas because so many Latin American countries gained independence Between the dates of September 15th and October 15th, President Ronald Reagan declared that the 30-day period as Hispanic Heritage Month, and whereas Hispanic Americans embody the best of the American values such as strength, commitment, and community, and fierce faith, whereas the contribution of the Hispanic citizens of culture of Huntingburg have shaped the future of our city and through the influence of our government, economy, and social growth. Now, therefore, I, Neil Elkins, Mayor, Huntingburg, Indiana, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025, Hispanic Heritage Month in Huntingburg. Urge citizens in Huntingburg to observe the month by recognizing we speak as one culture to recognize and celebrate the contributions of our Hispanic community in our city and country. We will be presenting this at the high school later on. Also be doing some recordings with Los Raiders this coming week. Myself, the Mayor Baccarat, will be doing some reading of the proclamation, recording part of it, and we'll send that out. We're looking at other visits with some of the high school students. There was a unity night this past Friday night. Was it this past Friday? No, it's Friday night before 11 days ago that we had that. There's a lot of people attended that. That's really what took place at the Latino Festival. It was suspended for the year, and it's the same days that we celebrated it this past year. Next considerations, we have the Board of Public Works approached by OFS with their construction expanding up on 400 West, building 18 being basically built and produced out on the west side. They're adding about 160,000 square feet of space out there. Most of it will be warehouse space, but have parts for manufacturing across the street. Because of our requirements for flood control and water control, their parking lot has to be turned into a detention pond, which means that now there'll be more people crossing 400 West. Probably won't happen till late next year. But regardless of even in that situation, we've been out there. County is 30 mile an hour. We're at 40. And if you want to drive out there at any point, it's gotten busier and busier here for part of it. The other plants, probably 40 mile an hour is way too high for that. The Board of Public Works has suggested a 30 mile an hour speed limit. I've driven it numerous times at 30 mile an hour, taking traffic out there and different things. And if you come out off of 64, you're going 30 mile an hour to the stop sign. Then from the stop sign to the railroad tracks, you're at 45. You can't ever reach 45 before you hit the tracks unless you've got it really hard. But it's more comfortable at 30 mile an hour. And then you have to get past tracks up to 19th Street. It takes a while to get up to 40, and then you have to slow down at the stop sign. So I don't think it's going to be a big difference in a 10 mile an hour speed limit. But it'll also make us match what already is being observed by the county.
So does the county start at Phoenix there and come west?
Actually, county starts. Well, confusing because when you get you come off of State Road 64.
Yeah.
And the first few feet are city, then it turns to county, and it's county all the way to 12. And then it goes back to city again after you get over 12th Street, and it's city all the way up to Phoenix.
You drive it now, it's the county just blacked out. It's legal in what county.
Yeah.
They
I
drive
in there a little bit.
county blacked.
The ordinance 2025-18. Sorry, when would this go into effect? Right away, or you?
It will go effect, signs will go up as soon as it's approved here.
It's approved and published one time.
We're gonna roll it out in a couple ways. We're gonna go ahead and put out the flashing signs that show the speed limit and their speed, like the state's put in down there. Put in those first, those also let us track what the actual speed is. So that gives us a chance to get people to slow down and bring the speed before we put a crosswalk in. What type of crosswalk we have to set, the discussion has been an elevated crosswalk, flashing signs, all that will be paid for by OFS. Any city cost, but what we want to restrict, my biggest concern is that, because that parking lot is so wide, they can cross anywhere. How are we gonna funnel them to a controlled crosswalk fence, and whether that be fence or landscaping or some type of barrier that convince people that they have to cross it, they have to cross it. So that's something we still will have a few months to work out with OFS, and again, at their cost, and they're gonna have. We shouldn't really slow it down anyway, the number of cars that come. Going by today's standards of cars that enter and exit a roadway, we're already meeting that requirement, according to two different engineers we spoke to. With their own street standards at a 30-mile-an-hour. So we.
Is it consistent then?
It is kind of confusing. It's
Up
two
and down.
different speed limits on in such a short stretch. I don't think anybody really. It's kind of like you don't know.
I drove the other day, as the mayor said, I could trash out. 30 mile an hour, not all that fast, I won't drive at 30, you know, say,
Yeah.
30, you're gonna drive 35 probably. And,
They might do that in district. They might do that. in district.
Somebody else.
They don't do it.
Oh, 1 and 4.
There is one exception of council members on speeds. So what we would need is, do we have a number for this 2025?
18.
18.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Introduce.
Number and introduce.
All right. 2025-18.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to introduce and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Suspend the reading and choose by unanimous consent. So the same meeting in which it's produced.
I'll make that motion.
I'll say.
Okay, we have first and second to suspend the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Now,
Motion to adopt.
I'll second. There, first and second to adopt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Kissling,
Aye.
Bounce,
Aye.
McFerrin,
Aye.
Bolton,
Aye.
Ware. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
No,
You have it.
Aye.
Do you have a copy? You can sign it tomorrow, of course.
I have a copy with 3 holes in it. That'll work.
Here you go. Next, we have another ordinance, the zoning maps, for the CHRK rentals. That is the project, that would place two duplexes and up on 8th Street. Familiar, it used to be, it's right now, it's a vacant lot, it used to be a storage of the buildings there. That was approved earlier through the plan commission city after publication of notices, as you can read them in here. So now they've presented it to the common council for approval there. I don't know what questions you have about the project, but we're moving it.
To rezone it from an R1 single family to R2. Duplex.
It'll just be up the street from where other duplexes and townhomes are being built presently too, so. I get that's the neighborhood. pretty
This
well.
is the only 2 lots that they're rezoning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not going. That's a good spot for that though.
So we would need a motion to accept.
Yeah, that would be a 2025.
25-19, need a motion to present.
I can make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Now, on a zoning ordinance that's been recommended by the planning commission, since it's already had a public hearing, you may adopt, without suspending the rules, you may adopt the same meeting which is introduced. So you've introduced it and you may now adopt. Go to it.
Got a motion and a second to adopt, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Kissling. Aye. Bound.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Mosley. Ware. Aye. 5 ayes, no nays.
We have, fire department, fire chief. Don Hine coming forward here to talk about the automatic gate proposal with the city of Jasper. Share the resolution number, we have a resolution.
I don't know if they, I don't,
Two things, I'll just wait.
I don't have, I haven't compared with this.
I'm doing this to read it.
Yeah, okay.
You want to? I'd like to present exhibit A. I wanted to tell you that.
You don't know.
Wow.
You get a drink.
Yeah, there's three coming up. So I have two things here. The first one, the one on top, is the automatic aid. I was here a couple of months ago and discussed that a little bit. Since then, the area, the county departments, they're not quite there yet, but Jasper and Huntingburg we operate the same, so we're a little closer to do this. And Jasper's attorney and Bill have reviewed this. They've made their changes. Kenny and I both agreed with this. And so we would like to kind of present this and get approval to move on forward with this. Basically what this is for any confirmed structure fire with smoke showing or flame showing, Huntingburg, if it's in Jasper, Jasper Dispatch Center would page Huntingburg at the same time. We have protocols. The whole department doesn't go there. It is one truck, an engine. It would be ladder 36 because it can operate as an engine, and 4 people, and that's all that's going. Unless it gets bigger and bigger, but they would use other mutual aid. And the same would go for us if we have a fire with smoke showing or flame showing. DuBois County Dispatch would dispatch Jasper, and they would come with an engine and 4 people as well. And then we would assign tasks accordingly, but probably predetermined tasks, so that's more efficient. If it's in Jasper, it's their scene. We follow their rules, and when it's in Huntingburg, it's our scene, and they follow our rules. It's all spelled out there. It's very similar to the mutual aid agreement that we have. Anywhere in the county, I can call, I can ask for Holland. It is not mandatory. If we have an emergency here in Huntingburg, if Jasper has an emergency, I can deny and say I can't come, but we've got to tell them right away so they know, because we have an emergency to handle here. We're not just going to say, nah, we don't really feel like it today. Try again tomorrow. That's not what that's about. It's just about it. It doesn't do any good if we're sending people back and forth. So it's just to say, hey, if we have an emergency going on right now that we need all of our manpower for it. And then we can go to our mutual aid, which just takes a little longer. And what this does is when the call goes out, in today's world, we have mutual aid. We get to the scene, we assess and say, oh, we probably need some help. Let's call Jasper. Now Jasper gets paged, and now they have a turnout time and a drive time to get here. This would get rid of that turnout time. We would get called at the same time. They're already on the way. I don't have to worry about calling them, and we can always turn them around. It is not for car fires. It is not for dumpster fires. It is not for nuisance fires. It is for structure fires only. Confirmed, not for alarms. We get alarms all the time, all over the place. It's not for that.
So the main advantage is just response time.
Response time and experience. When you're a small department, if you get 1 fire a year, you're not getting any experience. And by the time you get your next one, it's like, how did we do the last one? So this gives us more opportunities for our departments to grow together. It will require us to train together, so there's more training. There is a little bit of a cost. I'm not asking for any money. We'll figure that out. It's not a lot. Jasper doesn't have a lot of house fires and we have just a little bit less structure fires, commercial or residential. But you're talking $100 a run, so it's not that much, plus fuel.
This, have a positive effect on our ISO ratings.
It absolutely will have it. And I don't know if it'll have a positive effect this year, because that's October 6th that we get audited. But if we can get this, at least they'll see, if he sees a signed document that there's commitment to this, that might help us. But it'll definitely help us once he sees that we're responding the way that we say we will. So I don't know if it'll help this year, but it definitely, definitely helps. The county departments, St. Anthony and Schnellville and Felstein, they're looking more at tanker support. I can do tanker support, but I have to pick one or the other. And for us, we're using engine. So they're going to use an engine, and we have an SOP that as soon as we get something in the county, we just call it immediately. I don't even have to I told them, you don't have to get there, just if it's a working fire, just call it. And we can always turn them around if we don't need the tanker support.
I know this, the red light version of this came in late today. I don't know if Phil's had a chance to.
Well, I've seen the red line version and I've edited it so that it's executable. I just didn't know until late this evening that you were going to opt it or consider. However, council just needs to approve it. That can be done by a motion of the minutes. And the reason it's being brought before the council is there is a possibility of some funding that would occur. We have to pay the firemen that respond to these fires. So you should be aware of that. And know
The equipment that could get,
is used. And
yeah.
appreciate it or whatever.
Our insurance has to cover too.
And but the agreement is really will be signed and be authorized by the Board of Public Works to see. You need to approve it so the Board of Works and of course feels comfortable also approving it and signing off on it.
How do you know when there's smoke and flames? Is it when somebody calls
They call
911?
it. They call it.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna say, hey, I have a fire, and the dispatch will determine that at that time.
Would this be like added to your report every month to the Board of Public Works when you run Jasper?
Automatic, I probably would change that. Right now, we have a mutual aid portion in there. I mean, mutual aid runs we do. I would probably spell that out with automatic aid. So that we can have that information for future data is good.
Do you have a number of how many house fires we have and they have for structure fires each year?
This is really, we don't like to talk
Yeah,
about
that's
this.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't want to jinx you. You
Yeah.
don't have to tell me.
Last year we had 5, and that is not normal. Typically 2. And I'm not gonna talk about this year. Okay, so we're just not gonna go there. But I'd say historically, probably 2 a year, Glenn, fair. It goes up or down a little bit. Last year was not a normal year. We've had some years like that, but last year was a little bit more severe.
Jasper did provide aid on some of those fires too.
They were there I know for 3 of them for sure. We call it anyway. I mean, it just gets them there quicker instead of waiting for us to get tired and then we call them and we have more people on hand at the beginning.
Another thing is help is if they are on a scene, active scene, Jasper's sort of on a standby. If you get a medical run, they can handle that and not take the manpower away from us. So that's a mutual thing too. You've had that happen quite often. You're on a run, also you get a medical run.
And then I have to bear down and send what I need to cover that.
So we need a motion to adopt or, I don't know.
Y'all should authorize the execution of the automatic mutual aid agreement.
Motion authorized.
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Exhibit B, is, we have been probably since February. In February, we had a run, where we had two codes at the same time. We have one Lucas device that was bought through, the county, and lots of donations. And that night we could have used two. We have three medical trucks. Recently, I learned of the opioid settlement fund, and there's a restricted and unrestricted. The restricted is very difficult. You have to trying to think of the wording here. It has to be used in a certain way, and so what I'm when you go to an opioid overdose, they depress the body systems. The breathing rate goes way down. The heart rate goes way down, not enough to sustain life. So one of the first things that we do is CPR, and this would help us on scene for that.
That's gonna say, you might explain what Lucas device is.
I'm sorry, the loop device is a machine that gives compressions, so that we can do other things. For example, we can give airways and give better respirations through that. We can pick the person up and still be giving compressions, where in the past, every time we pick a person up, put them on a cot, we have to stop compressions. And then you're trying to do compressions while the cot is moving, and it doesn't work very well. You're not getting good compressions, and then we have to stop, get them in an ambulance. The Lucas device allows that to have consistent compressions at the right depth, the right rate, so that we can maneuver more efficiently and use our experience in other ways. Our department, we're very fortunate. We have a critical care nurse who, and then I have two paramedics, and we have 7 EMTs. And we have a lot of EMRs. EMRs are emergency medical responders, first responders. EMTs are emergency medical technicians. So we're very fortunate. EMTs can do a lot on a code that is more beneficial, and the Lucas device helps with that. So that is my proposal. The fire department has raised $10,000 so far, and we're willing to. But we're not asking for the whole thing, but we're willing to throw everything that we've raised so far. But I'm just trying to make our medical more efficient, faster, by any of our trucks that can get to you first. Time is of the essence when we have
If it
a
restricted.
cardiac
funds
event.
were- How much, we have about 48,000 restricted opioid,
48, 49.
Yeah.
And then,
that's grow.
yeah. And then, so there's a quote for 2, and then you could take 10 off of that, because we have 10 right now that is designated for that.
So this would be for us to have 3 total.
We would have one on every single medical truck, so it doesn't matter. Our guys, when it's a medical run, our guys go to the closest station and grab. But if it's a cardiac event, if you're on the north side, you gotta go all the way to First Street when you could have been at 11th Street. The truck that I drive during the weekend, it rotates to all of our officers. It's manned almost 24/7. So they can leave straight from home, or if they're driving around, I respond a lot of times if I'm, out and about, kind of like a police officer. I'm already rolling them, I just go. And so it just adds seconds and minutes, and it could be what is absolutely necessary for somebody.
How much money are you short by?
So the bottom of the second page, that's the total. Now you can subtract 10 from that, because we have 10 to add to contribute. This was our goal set after the February, that we wanted to get at least 2. But when I learned of this, I thought, well, any of our medical trucks should be exactly the same.
Is this a single source?
There is no, yes, they're the only ones that sell this. There is no other vendor. You have to buy it from them. I tried going through another vendor who thought he could, but he said, no, you gotta get it through the manufacturer. So there's only one vendor for that. That's why you don't have multiple quotes.
What is the life of these?
I can't answer that. I know that the ambulance has had them for years. You know, you take care of them and do the PM on it, and that's what part of this is the PM for them to come in and do the preventive maintenance and making sure that everything is good.
Keep batteries, so
Mhm.
it's probably the most expensive part of it, isn't it? Batteries.
No,
No, I mean, no, it's part of.
oh, keep preventing,
Maintenance.
yes,
Later,
absolutely,
later on, after you
absolutely,
go out.
yes, yes,
Keep
yeah,
them, because
the batteries are expensive.
like anything else, you know. Batteries, those go south before the rest of the use.
Yeah, suction using silicone and it's not like a rubber where it dry rods or something.
So what is that amount? That
It'd be-
457.
Yeah, just so you know, he is asking for the restricted
Yes,
funds.
restricted.
Restricted funds are a little easier to use. It's almost impossible to use the restricted unless it's to this type of it's related to opioid or it's related, and this would be part of with your Narcan and
yes, and we carry Narcan on
part of
our,
the hit to be able to. And that's part of the provision of making only suit for this.
So we would do an additional appropriation for that 44 restricted opioid, which I can put together for next meeting. We can start that process.
We have that fund, I think. We have that fund set up.
Would need a motion to,
Essentially just proceeding with appropriating the funds to make the purchases from the restricted opioid funds. We have
we have to, yeah,
have a public hearing, additional appropriations.
so as long as we can move forward with the process with the next public hearing, probably our next meeting.
Well, before, we were gonna put together something with
It'd probably be October.
with the street department, yeah. Yeah, that would be also needed.
So you need motion to appropriate.
Yeah.
Or what?
Just to move forward to, I guess, allow Tom to move forward with the process so we can present it in a public hearing. To vote on the appropriation.
I'll make that. I'll note that approval, yeah, I'll move forward.
So we got first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, any opposed, I should say. I think people are scared. So it'll have to be probably in October meeting. I would guess, Tom, let's have the process for that. Let's do
Yeah.
first
I mean,
October meeting.
we're gonna hear about the street on
Yeah,
in the
October
in the-
first, second.
So we'll have to start and to set a public hearing for the appropriation, so it won't be available for you until probably mid-October.
so that's better than waiting until next year.
Yeah, the bids opening for the roof October first, October second, for public works. And once we know that dollar amount, we'll be asking council to.
And that's only to keep, to do one additional appropriation ordinance, right?
Yeah. Who can, then those two items be put together. That's the timeline, so probably second to Tuesday of October.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for looking at that, Don.
Mhm.
Next thing is consideration, we did bring this up to Matt to enter into the interlocal agreement, we have a resolution. 25, if we had 19. 20, 25.
Well, that's,
I think it's one.
I think that we could. That's the first one we have to enter into. That's working with the city of Jasper. On doing completing the study, but also working with them to negotiate whatever that price is. The state of Indiana for relinquishment of 231. Just to be clear, this doesn't mean that we're agreeing to relinquishment of 231 to us, but just investigate what the costs are, what the liability is. And within the study, a lot of things will be considered, not only just the cost and commission, of the existing highway, but what are the future costs of the city? How will it change traffic patterns within the city? All the things that people you hear and are concerned about, you hear at this table are concerned about. Water, how will the mid-states corridor impact the city of Huntingburg if we were to take the to 230? By no means, I'll just make it clear again, that will accept a relinquishment, but we have to know what that number is, and I think it's a good idea to look to be able to bring in and do a study to be able to see all the things that we should consider that we aren't considering now.
I think Jeff brought this up in the past. I hope, you know, this study by the company, corporation who we're going with, is not biased to either way. I think we definitely need the information on what it's going to take for the city to do in regards favor or against. Hopefully this study would really be a little clearer. Both you consider
in
one or the other.
our 101 meeting, I can guarantee you that there is no bias on the end of. They've already given us a lot of information, firepower, to be able to go forward with a bold ask on our end. But we do have to determine what that bold ask is going to be from state and
We're entering into an agreement for the study with Jasper. Would it also be fair to assume that negotiations would also be kind of a joint effort also?
Yes.
When it's done? Okay.
But let's just say that we will both have it, we will both use. Both work together for this. And part of this plan, we want elected officials there without being in violation of any open door policies that we will have. In our city planners there will have police, will have fire, our street department, people that are dealing with all the issues that come along with relinquishment, whether they be accidents, control of the streets themselves, maintenance of the streets, what our data ratings, what is our liability moving down the road, who's going to clean these streets, all the things that need to be considered by. We've already made a huge list on our group, but we want other city employees involved in the process to be able to make sure we're having all considerations.
Is the study that was completed, I think you had mentioned Franklin, Indiana, as a study that this organization did
Yeah, they worked
previously?
on it,
Are the results of that study publicly available?
Yeah, don't have those, but
No, I'm just curious if I can.
I
find
have
those.
visited Franklin since relinquishment, and it has been a positive turn to their downtown. And Franklin was a little different because city of Franklin approached the state and said, we want the highway back. Same thing happened in Madison. We want the highway. We don't want you managing it anymore. Do it ourselves. And so those type of relinquishment agreements are a little different. Where you're volunteering, taking that over versus somebody wants you to take it over. In this case, I mean, in the end, it may just say that the risk is too high, we don't want it. That could be part of, that could be one of the answers, I don't know.
I sort of look at it as like, almost like the house insurance policy, you hope you don't need it, but it's there if you do.
We can't ask for any more than they're offering us if we don't have a value or a background, what that value is.
Well, and I think this is what we have been looking for, is just an independent study to tell us what the impact is gonna be on. Like businesses, the different, I mean, this is, I think, what we've been looking for. In the whole scheme of things, I think it is a lot of money, but we're talking enormous dollars, and so this is, reasonable considering.
I think in order for us to make truly informed decision and consider all input, you know, people that live in town, people that live out of town, what the cost is going to be, that all of that has to go into finally whether we as a body decide to endorse this project or not. I don't think that we can, I don't think I could get to the point of making a decision without knowing these numbers.
I think it's gonna be just one more tool on our tool belt here to make decisions. And if time comes to pass where they're going to present something, the state's going to say, this is what we're offering. We really need to know what that equates to. And this will change over time. I mean, you know, this study's done now, and then, you know, this drags on for 5 more years or 10 more years. I mean, those costs will change, and I'm hoping that they'll sort of establish that in the study, that if it's delayed, it will add a certain percentage of cost to it because of the aging infrastructure or lack of maintenance. It's really not maintained right now that well. I wouldn't want to inherit it the way it is.
Yeah.
The state is determined right now, from their standpoint, that that value is in the vicinity of about $50 million, or could be higher. I think it probably is going to be much higher. We're looking at about a $53,000 expense here, but we're also looking at tens of millions of dollars at stake.
At least.
Yeah. So
Are we able to pay this half this year and half next year? Does it be?
we can work out. We can work out something on that, yes. There is a payment as planned. We do have a little bit of money left right now on this contract to various accounts, whether that be community development account, and I think I've got a little bit left in mine right now. Also put that forward into next year on the contract. If not, we'll have to come back for another appropriation, but hopefully through what's already been in the budget, your community development and the mayor's budget, street budget, there is some contract money. There's not contract money there. Just realize that we may not be able to do much else in that contract, right? So at a minimum, we have it there.
Do you recall the estimated completion date of the study again? I don't recall what that was from the last time.
It was February.
Yeah, it should have everything by next spring.
It was February 26th. There's the anticipated delivery schedule. I think that was.
It's
Based on approval.
We're about a month behind.
Then you got 6 months total. It's approved.
You're probably looking at early April. In March, early April, where we'll change with this, because we are, we'll be about a month behind on approving Jasper, that we'll do it at the next meeting. Right, so I talked to Mayor Simons about here. Blatter this past week, and his plan is that they will approve it at the next meeting, so.
We might have all the covers what Jasper does. You guys seen that? Highway 56. That's from Lagodi, goes down the square, it goes off to Jasper.
Yeah.
So they were responsible for.
Jasper has a unique situation in the fact that ours is Highway 45 and 231. They're Highway 45, 231, and 56 in some areas.
Yeah.
Portions of that 56 will not be, so.
Don't hang on to that.
So, Phil, what do we need here?
Well, this is resolution 2025-20. That would approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with the city of Jasper for comprehensive study of the relinquishment of Title 231. Would, by this resolution, we would authorize the Board of Public Works and Safety to enter into a consulting agreement with Avenue, negotiate a price therefore, and to conduct the study, to share the results with the city of Jasper, as well as cooperate, the two communities cooperate in negotiations that take place in connection with the intervention.
Does it need to be addressed that Jasper has not approved it yet, and that we're approving it? Would it be conditional upon Jasper actually?
Obviously, if they don't, it's an interlocal agreement, so if they don't approve it, it
Just
dies.
doesn't happen.
Okay. Does everybody know why the county not wanting it?
I do not know.
They're not interested at this point.
I do not know.
I mean,
We'd be foolish not to have this information.
I think so too. I think we're gonna get to a point when they're gonna give us a number, and without having this information, we don't even know where we stand on.
You might not even go with this information, so that's why
Yeah.
you really gotta have as much as you can, sure.
Okay, great. So we need a motion to approve resolution 2025-20.
Assume it's motion to introduce. or
No,
not?
just to approve it's a resolution out of ordinance.
Only,
Council. Bolte made the motion.
I'll second.
You got a second? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries.
Let's just have a roll call on that. Just like,
Aye.
Bound, McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware. Five ayes, no nays.
We'll need approval now to enter in agreement with Avenue. I've sent you information, I guess, after the last meeting and their history, who they are. Already met with them, both the county and city of Huntingburg, city of Jasper, at preliminary meetings. We felt comfortable, but we need your approval to grant an agreement. This is probably obviously conditioned on Jasper being part of that agreement.
you need a motion, needs to move forward with that, and
Yes.
we'll make that motion.
I'll second. And all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We need to exhibit D here.
Well, that's the interlocal agreement, okay, also
That's
that's just
just-
signing, it's not authorized to sign from Jasper, from Jasper.
So the dates of that obviously will change and except D.
It's just a form of it. It's attached.
Do you have any,
I have nothing else.
clerk treasurer, constable?
No, other than to tell you, which I think, Kenley may have already sent you an email. Some estimated miscellaneous incomes that for the budget, and then also the Form 3, which is the tax levy base for 2026 estimated. It could be on board packet. If they're not, let me know and I'll get with her.
I didn't see.
I didn't see it.
Well, that's on the email. Get those printed.
She sent out an email, but I couldn't open PDF, so I don't, if we get on
I
board.
thought she posted them in the library. She
In the library, I think.
Oh.
Go to your, the
Oh,
book icon,
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, that's.
and then
We didn't find it.
training.
then internal and
Okay, there it is.
okay.
Training.
July 10th.
I still have to hear yet for what the estimated income. Could get it, the lit funds will be, the LGF still has coming soon. And had that burned out.
Unless I'm overlooking, I don't see those documents here.
Joe,
They did under internal. I got mayor's report, utility committee.
well,
That's internal,
you have to go internal, and then there's a city budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
be 26.
Oh, it's up underneath that. Thank you now. Came in yesterday.
Go to, then the last two items that are the little books of percent.
Yeah.
They
But it's out here, I'm reading the journal. Yeah, journal. And then, say you get back there,
budget.
a budget, the very first file, 2026 city budget. We learned about that,
That's two.
and that's the last two items. That were added yesterday.
But that I have.
Do it.
Okay, any citizens items? I know we have a citizen elected official here.
Yes, sir.
You have something here?
Just a quick request, that was not mentioned, the total cost on the bid for those two Lucas devices, may I know that?
Yes, Any total bids, 54,000, 577.14. The portion that comes out of the, 44,577.14 will be what's going to be appropriated out of the 48,000 balance that's in the
Thank you.
opioid account right now. Sorry about that. Thank you. We see things and we should say them louder. Apologize. I know we have Senator Schmidt here and do you have anything? You just here? No.
Yeah, well, I'd like to, yes.
Yes, you are. So.
That'd be great.
We'd love to hear how you're going to raise more money from Indianapolis.
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, I have exhibit A and B as well, but.
That's too much reading.
And actually, here, one of this. Take one of these and pass it around. This is just a simple handout, kind of talking about changes on veterans, you know, through this. Now this here is a facts and fiscal policy guide. There's just, this is not for today, reading, there's a lot of things explaining all the different taxes and monies that are collected and where they go. It's just a lot of interesting information, trying to provide knowledge and, you know.
I don't know where the gas tax goes.
Okay, there you go. Well, but, I guess I gotta get over here. No, so I just wanted, I guess actually, I might start out with saying, a year ago today was my last day on the Du Bois County Council. I resigned a year ago today, and tomorrow will be the 1-year anniversary when I was sworn in, as your state senator, as our state senator, so. Yeah, thank you. It's been a whirlwind and a ride, to say the least. But I guess there was 3 things basically that was my philosophy and guiding principles, and they still are, was delivering decisions to the local level and accountability and efficiency of unelected bureaucratic functions that we have, you know, here in the state. Those are priorities. Now, a lot of things happened this year at the State House, and the biggest one, you know, hit right in the face in January was Senate Bill 1. Okay, now Senate Enrolled Act 1. So what I've been doing is going around to town councils, city councils, and county councils. There's 39 in District 48, and I think you guys are 28, 29. I'm not for sure of those. I was at Gibson County at the county council. Their county council meeting this morning, so that's all the county councils I've been to. But anyway, trying to help explain the overall philosophy of Senate Bill 1. I've talked to a lot of you guys individually about it, so if I'm dragging it on, go like this. But the same thing, the philosophy and the 7-year plan, Senate Bill 1 or Senate Enrolled Act 1 was delivering decisions to the local level, you know, empowering us to make decisions, and basically simplicity and transparency of our property tax system. You know, instead of making 18 calculations to come up with a deduction, we're changing to where there'll be straight, you know, credits to the system. So I just wanted to, I guess, answer questions. I'll give you a little bit of background of kind of the overall philosophy and answer any questions that you have. But ultimately, simplifying the system, it's basically in 3 buckets. If you look at, say, if you have a $150,000 home, the 1% cap will now go, by the time we get to year 7, I know I gave you guys one of these if you need another one, but that's all in there. It explains the transition from now until year 7, where we ultimately get to the 1% cap homesteads or 2/3 deduction of your assessed value. You would basically, $150,000 home, you would pay tax rate times 50,000. Okay, the 2% rental properties, land, they will have a 1/3 assessed value deduction. And pay tax rate times, 100,000. The 3% businesses will end up paying tax rate times the full assessed value. Okay, so then the simplification of it. Okay, so now as you start to get rid of a lot of the different deductions, people are concerned about the deductions going away, whether it's solar or whatever deductions that are being phased out. But ultimately, at the end, the 2/3 deduction of your assessed value, that's where that's going. So that's the simplicity piece out of it. It'll be just basically everybody will have a standard 2/3. So we can all understand it, okay? And then the same way with the 1/3. Concern from people on business personal property tax going from the 80,000 to the 2 million. That's incentivizing small businesses and local businesses, and that's gonna help them and incentivize people to, to create businesses. But kept the $2 million threshold, so major corporations, power plants, things of that nature, weren't trying to, chop us off at the knees as local government. So if you say that deduction there, that we technically are gonna lose, when you get over here to the 3% people that are gonna be paying the assessed value on the entire portion of their assessed value, that's where that's made up. So it's not a fundamental shift of where we're collecting the taxes. It's just, simplifying it that way. Then also, the local income tax, and the wheel tax are the tools that we'll have as local governments. We're kind of fortunate that we don't have to address that. The county has the wheel tax here that's already implemented. That decision does not have to be made for community crossings until 2026. So if if we decide to do that locally, but the county is, that's already implemented. But those are tools that allow us to fine tune what we're doing, okay? Now, and I guess, do you guys collect, do you receive any income tax at this point from the county?
Yeah.
So
we will not in 2027.
So what was that for the certified shares or the property tax
Right
relief?
now, the county's at
economic development?
2% on the lit. So we've received, basically Jasper and Huntingburg combined get about 53% of those funds. They will no longer be receiving those 2027. So for us to be able to have, we'll have to implement our own lit, Jasper and Huntingburg. However, just in it will be offset somewhat by the state lowering the income tax in the state level.
Yes.
27. It'll also be offset by the county. Hopefully, I think there's a feeling that they will also could be reducing their income tax by the same amount. So for being a citizen of Huntingburg or Jasper, you should see, it's just the money's gonna come through in a different way. That'll probably be the same income tax in the end with us instituting. Unless we go crazy and put a high number in there, which I don't think would be.
No, exactly, okay.
We can go up to 1.2%.
You did a good job presenting that. And every situation is going to be different in different counties, if people had depending what tax structures that you have, but you're exactly right. So it's actually going to give us more flexibility on how we implement it. There'll be certain things that there's a portion in there for EMS, potentially 2.9% total, okay, is the amount of total debt that could be collected with the county plus city portion. 1.7 at the county level, 1.2 at the city level. Okay, there's going to be a lot of instances where if it's something that's being collected at the county level, say for ambulance service or things of that nature, we will have the flexibility, or as well, I say that as local government, okay, that's still looking through that lens. We'll have the flexibility that if it's ambulances that are provided by the county and everybody's getting those services, that could be that'll be something that's collected by the county and paid by the county for the ambulance service. So it can be appropriate. I guess we'll be able to combine, there'll be certain things that still could be combined where the city could be receiving a distribution of money collected by the county for all residents. And then there will also be, you will have the availability if you need to collect certain local income tax unit for your municipal residents for certain specific functions that would only apply to you. Okay, but the mayor is correct. We don't have to raise taxes, that is giving you guys the flexibility to do that. Okay, the first goal of this whole thing with the property tax relief is everybody had property tax concerns, right? Everybody has their story about how property taxes were going up exponentially. So the first idea was to give property tax relief and then give us as local governments an opportunity to right size, look for efficiencies, but then also us have the tools to adapt and to respond at the local level. Like the mayor said, in 2015, 3.4% was the state tax rate, state income tax rate, okay? When this starts taking effect in 2027, it'll be, 2.9%. So over this time, there'll be a 0.5% reduction of income taxes that are taken out of our checks, that reduction at the state level. So if we end up needing a certain percentage of that at the local level to balance out and ensure the services we have the ability to do that. Plus, and I look at it as we're just collecting it at a different location. Okay. And I would much rather collect it at the local level over here and administer it at the local level than collect it over here at the state or the federal level and let them dictate to us how we use our money. Okay.
I never bet on what happens in Indianapolis, but I hear more and more support of lowering that income tax each year.
The state
State
expense.
income.
Absolutely. And I'm a proponent of
A lot of
it.
support of
Yes.
now.
Yes. So then if we're lowering it there and hypothetically you're raising it here, it's not a raise. We're collecting it where we can administer it more efficiently. I mean, so, I think that's a good thing. And there is no intention of limiting your ability. It is actually going to give us more flexibility to be more efficient in how we do it. Now, it will also give local governments, it's going to be more responsibility tied to it, right? But you're going to be able to respond to it. If people are clamoring for more services, then you have the ability to adjust tax rates, whether it's, a wheel tax to help improve roads. Okay, and if people, you're wanting a lot more done, well, then you have the ability to do it. Or conversely, if people are asking for property tax relief, income tax relief, you can lower the income tax. You'll have the ability to do that, but then you will also it'll be a 1-to-1 correlation. We're going to say, okay, so instead of paving 22 miles of roads this year, we're going to pave 16 miles of roads, and these are the 6 miles that we're going to push off for another year. So then everybody understands the cause and effect. So I guess that's the nuts and bolts: simplicity and transparency and local decision making.
I want to thank you, Senator, for being accessible to us, not only just us as elected officials, but the general public too. We have good conversations. You listen. You don't always vote the way I want you to, but you listen and you consider. But you'll never vote the way I want you to all the time. But I do appreciate your accessibility.
I'm just trying to be a megaphone for 140,000 people. I didn't get involved because I had to. The easy thing would be to slow down, right, and to play more golf or something. But I want to help, and that's my priority. And having said that, I went through a lot of, in my opinion, on the way I see, Senate Bill 1 and the way I see us moving forward in 7 years. Now, not accidental that most of it's not going to take effect till 2028. We have time to respond. The architects of the budget and Senate Bill 1, this started at the end of the session in 2023, a biennial budget, right? So every 2 years we're doing a budget, the odd years. So after the budget of 2023, there were study committees that have been working diligently for 2 years to try, because this is a big change. This was a lot to swallow. Okay. But it all makes sense to do this over this long period of time and increase the simplicity. So, but having said that, it's not implemented immediately. So if there's any unintended consequences, those study committees have already started meeting again. Okay, to iron the bugs out a little bit. So as much as I'm here to tell you that the philosophy and the way I think it's going, I'm also here as you see things that are wrong and things that we need to modify and change and adapt, we'll do that. I'll do my best to help with that. Like if you look on the 1.7% that the counties can administer, it's 1.2% is considered general purpose, 0.4% fire protection and EMS, up to 2% for townships, libraries, and special units, and up to 3% for property tax relief. So if you do the math on that, that's actually 1.9%. So you can't max them out since your limit is the 1.7 as a county. And then 1.2% for the municipalities. Okay, people are concerned, and I've been hearing some questions lately that 0.4% says EMS and fire protection. Doesn't mention anything about police, okay? I've got to research on that. I'm gonna be in Indianapolis in the next couple of days. I know there was no intention to defund the police, so so that's not an intention there. If we need to write that in just for clarification or something, I'm gonna address that and look at that. But the goal is to increase the amount of flexibility that we have as local governments, county or municipalities. So like the 1.2% is general purpose, at the top. So, it'll well be within the right of the county if they want to do something, there to help, whatever the case may be, or you guys in the same way, the 1.2%, that municipalities have. You'll have the flexibility to use that as you see fit, and that's what we want. Now, a lot of people are concerned in different things that if counties pull everything away and pulling the rug out from municipalities, that there's not enough room in the sorry, I can't sit still, but in the 1.2% that municipalities get to make up the difference, okay? And there's no good way to know that exactly yet, because we've never on income taxes, they have not been tracking the addresses with it, okay? So how are you gonna make an estimate, right? Would it be, for municipality and separate that out? So 2025 taxes payable in 2026, that will start being tracked. And then as we're moving forward, we'll be able to get better estimates and an understanding where we're at. So a lot of moving parts yet.
I'm understanding we should be able to get at least quarterly numbers next year
Yes,
ahead of time. That's
so that's the goal, to give you guys more
There was
information.
discussion at the mayor's conference, from both the bill's author as well as the governor, that the consideration of putting police back in that 0.4% will be taken to the
Okay.
Senate, in the short session coming up.
Okay, you're a step ahead of me then.
Okay.
So that's good. So I would obviously I found that out tomorrow, but yes, that those are all things being looked at. So I didn't want anybody to be concerned about that. Any other questions or things?
Can you elaborate on the community crossings requirement that you said won't take place till 2026?
Well, what there is there's a requirement for a wheel tax that, like a lot of counties that don't have a wheel tax. Okay, so their community crossings matching grants, the first 100 million, everybody would be eligible for that pool. Well, then there was an incentive, I guess, the state wanted to, put skin in the game, okay? So the next pool that comes out, there's a formula that it'll be like it's an unknown determined based off of revenue collected and things. But I saw one projection, maybe by 2031, there'd be another maybe $250 million and potential there, okay? So you can call it community crossings matching grant, or they call it a matching road and bridge matching grant fund. It's the same thing. There's in statute, it's a road and bridge matching grant fund.
2027 will be broken up by the competitive grant that we have, as well as you could be eligible based upon your lane miles. However, you could not compete with those without unless you have your own wheel tax.
Yes.
The county wheel tax does not count on municipalities. The municipality would have to have that has to be in place by September of 30th of September 1st.
I think it's September 1st of 2026.
2026.
Yes.
Because it has to go back in the system for the DMV, collect those at time of licensing to 2027. So we wouldn't actually see those funds until people start buying plates in 2027. But that is not a requirement until the 2020, that you have it in place until
Yes.
2027, which means we have to have it in place by end of August of 2026.
And the minimum, okay? And I mean, there's a lot of differing opinions on the excise tax. Excise taxes for vehicles 11,000 and less. And I think I've got. So it is just minimums. Okay. Vehicles less than or equal to 11,000. The minimum is $7.50. And over 11,000, the minimum is $5. And as long as you do those minimums, then you qualify for that extra pool. Approximately 20, they were projections, you're right, that's gonna change, 27 is a long time away. The extra $250 million worth of community crossings matching grant fund. But there's also, if you look at this, and I guess I should say also, or but either way, right now, it's 50,000 population or less in a county. Okay, that's gonna go to 55,000. Plus, right now, your matching grant is 25%. That will go down to 20%. So you can almost look at it that we're reducing the percent of matching grant, but it's being made up over here in the wheel tax. And if you look at the wheel tax, as you guys have tools moving forward, I don't know that there's more of an appropriate tax for road funding and, per vehicle, okay, per vehicle unit. I farm, so yeah, not necessarily great, when you got a lot of vehicles or whatever, but that's okay. I'm not complaining a bit. So it's appropriate mechanism and tool to use. I just wanted to be, clear and so everybody understands that. But the minimum, the 5 and 750 qualify you because you can actually, the flexibility would be without a, what's exactly the plan? What do they call that? Assessment plan?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a capital plan, so.
Yeah, capital assessment plan. There's a plan if you guys fill out and make like a long-term plan. The maximum for excise is $25 that you could go, so it'd be the 750 to 25. That's the range and the limits that you can do on it. But if you have a dedicated long-term plan, then you can actually collect up to $50. And then it would be 40 and 80 for above for the wheel tax. Excise is below 11 and below, wheel tax is above 11. So anyway, and maybe I got too much into the weeds on that, but it's that's pretty well done. I assume that shit.
We start by B&V will supply to us the number of wheels, so to speak. In
Yes.
the city, Huntingburg out there. You gotta realize that if we institute one and others don't, there could be some fallout by people registering vehicles in other locations. If they have multiple business locations, that's a possibility too. So whatever we do, whatever we decide or to move with, realize that we may not receive everything that.
Yeah.
We are fortunate enough that we do have a lot of commercial vehicles within our city. A lot of communities don't have.
Yes. So, and I thought whenever, I was naive in my first session. I thought when we would go up there and a bill became a law and then it was done, well, it becomes law, but there's still a lot of moving parts that the details have to be ironed out and worked out on that. So I'm just trying to, I guess, give you guys the overall view and vision.
And one of the first conversations that you and I had during your leading up to you being in the position you're in now was safety tax.
Yes.
Is that option still available to local governments?
Absolutely. When I was on the county council, there was concern from a lot of fire departments and funding and those, and I was also, like when I was on the county council, when all this stuff was going on, I was going up to Indianapolis and I already realized that these study committees were starting but I didn't really know how the changes were going to be and what was going to happen. So that's why I advocated for waiting. But yes, we will have there's actually more opportunity. I'm sorry.
That's the point four you spoke of earlier.
Yes. So plus we now will have the flexibility like the 1.2% that is for general purpose, as a county, I guess the room will be there to do it. Right now, Du Bois County is 1.2% is the amount of income tax. That's the 8th lowest in the state. So, whatever, 92 minus 8. So there's 80, whatever that be, 83 that are below us. Or rate, that have higher rates than we do, I guess, inverse. But so that kind of goes back to the piece. It's going to be, we'll have the flexibility as local governments, will that be something that you guys will collect a certain a safety tax for your individual, whether it's fire, or will the fire be something that's gonna be collected by the entire county? And still, the availability, my understanding, is still there. If there's something that makes sense that we're gonna collect from every resident in the county and then be distributed by the county, could be distributed to the municipalities as well, right? Because you have to watch, if we're gonna be collecting everything from everybody in the county, well, then all of a sudden, you guys are doing something additional, then, it'll be an extra burden on your residents.
There isn't a maximum.
Yes,
Not every tax can be assessed.
yes,
Because at some point you'll hit the maximum. So there is a lot that can be there, but they've done a great job to say, if everybody does everything, you're gonna be over the maximum, so you won't be able to do that, so
Yes.
it does protect citizens, I don't want a 2.5% county income tax and us doing a 1% or anything.
No.
like that. So
we've been responsible
this
as a
is-
county and
helps us
municipalities.
with that, plus the fact that you're lowering some of the state fees.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the piece that most people don't realize is as the state income taxes went down 0.5% here, in the last 10 or 12 years. So they're trying to, I guess, right-size government a little bit, plus give us the power and flexibility. We're gonna have a lot more control as councils, at the local level, a lot more power, responsibility, right? It's a double-edged sword, but we'll have an opportunity to manage better and fine tune what we're doing. I think it's a great thing, Gonna be more work for us, but I consider us, I'm still saying that. Anyway, any other questions? As you see things or hear things and you have questions, now's when we're working on bills for next session, and study committees are going on up there, so just call and reach out.
When will the bill list be published? Upcoming bills in the short session, are they already out or?
No, not yet. And I don't know that. I'll have to get back with you on that one. I do not know. Anything else? That's my notepad.
Yeah.
Where's my notepad go?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Darren.
Oh, absolutely, anytime. Thank you very much.
I want to say also, he met with the Mayor Youth Council up in Indianapolis and spoke to our high school students, and they were talking about that. We had our first Mayor Youth Council meeting this morning, and they were still talking about it.
Is that right? Well, I was happy to
They
do that.
appreciated that.
Well, that was fun. That was fun to talk to the young
And
ones.
so did Steve Bartels later on.
Oh, okay, great. No, well, they're our future. We have to get that next generation involved and passionate about trying to give back and find that servant's heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, consider. Any council items? Do we have any motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. We have a first and a second. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All those opposed?